I'm going to eat the whole time you're talking. Okay? Start.
Are you ready? Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a member of the American Diabetes Association Committee. I'm having a walk next week for American Diabetes from the South Street Seaport. As a member, I am knowledgeable of the dangers of bad eating. It's not the best thing to do. And this woman is having a birthday. This is Judy. She's having a birthday. She wants to have more birthdays. Then she can have as many as she wants. But if she continues to eat the food that she eats, she's going to have issues that are going to cause problems. Here she is eating, biracial cupcakes. One black, one white. One vanilla, one chocolate. Therefore, it's wonderful. She's enjoying it. Watch her mouth move, and she's...
We have an empty chair because we're expecting Obama.
I didn't say that. All I know is that what she's eating here now is going to put weight on her. Putting weight on her puts weight on the heart. The blood is rushing, and it also has a sugar content. Very, very seriously big problem. Sugar content is the worst thing you can have. By the way, it's a combination of carbohydrates and sugar. Now here we are. She's also picking up what we call here chips, potato chips, sour pears, potato chips, all popcorn, all messy foods. The worst possible thing for you to do to get yourself putting on weight. And you want to run, you want to get into the marathons, you want to do the walkathons to help your body move, but you get out of breath. It's not good for you.
Tell us why you walk. Tell us why you walk. Tell us about all the experiences you've had and about the people that you've known. Tell us about last year.
Well, folks, I have a number of friends who have passed away. Several years ago, I had a friend of mine named Irwin, my namesake. This guy was a diabetic for a long time. It was a hereditary by it, but he had it anyway. Took care of himself very nicely. Did the best he could. He did exercise, he did everything he could, but it eventually caught up with him and he just passed away due to complications due to diabetes. It was a shame. He was going to thinking about getting engaged to a woman at the late age of 66, and yet with all the good possibilities he had, he passed away. A good guy, did the best he could, but he couldn't get away from diabetes. Once you have it, if you don't take care of yourself, and if you do, you got a problem. So you don't want to get started on having it. I had another friend, he also had diabetes, and because he had diabetes, he had complications due to diabetes. The heart, the kidney, the various organs are causing problems. This is the worst thing that can happen to people. Eventually, he went into the hospital. Not for a week, not for a month, for 6 or 7 months. He had to stay in the hospital. Finally, he got out. Now he can't even walk very well, and he's in trouble. But he's surviving. But he had an important thing. He was married to my friend Phyllis. That's how I knew him. Phyllis was a wonderful person and a very loyal person. She took care of him all these months. Went to the hospital every day. And when he came home, she took care of him and always watched him. So diabetes is not just your own problem, it's the people who love you problem. So if you have diabetes, you have to think about yourself, but you also have to realize you're impacting the lives of others. And the worst of all is my friend, Shep Greenberg, who died of diabetes, related problems or a heart attack. The problem was initially he was overweight. The problem was he loved to eat. He used the wrong foods, always enjoying it, but always realizing it was going to make him sick. Eventually, unfortunately for us, for our friends, and he was a friend from public school. We have six guys that came from public school. That's a long friendship. And we all got together one day last January, and he was there. He had lost his leg below the knee to diabetes-related issues, with, because of problems with, with diabetic-related situations. This was unfortunate. When we came to visit him. It was always my impression that we, from public school, went to visit him. He was incapacitated, sitting in a wheelchair, and when we went to leave, we all said goodbye. We picked ourselves up and we left. I'm glad we went to visit him because of the circumstances. 5 days later, died of a heart attack. I think it was diabetes related. It had to be somewhat, if not totally, that reason. But the fact of the matter is, this guy died because he saw everybody else from public school. We were all 70 years old, and we were all together. Shep Greenberg and myself were 2 days apart. I was older than he was by 2 days, but he looked much older than I did because of the diabetes. All these things are true, and this is what I thought that I want to bring out to people. Watch yourself, eat the right foods. These foods are fine, you can enjoy them for the moment, but in the long run, it's going to be more trouble than it's worth. Diet sodas, same thing. Everybody thinks diet sodas are good for you. It's not terrible, but it could be worse. I want you to understand these are things that are wrong that you have. No, I understand. I always like bananas, for example. I found that bananas very good in potassium, very important, but bananas are not the best thing for diabetic people. There's a lot of sugar in diabetes, in bananas, and diabetic results can happen. There's other things. White bread. Don't have white bread. Whole wheat, pumpernickel, okay. But white bread is not good for you. Don't do it. Potatoes. Don't have it. Maybe sweet potatoes are okay. But I found out personally, sweet potato fries, no, absolutely out of the question. And bread, rice, brown rice maybe, but bread, rice, bananas, they're all not good for you, and you should watch out for them. There's a lot of things you can do to help yourself, but also watch the ingredients. Always look to see what you have in diabetes, rules. Sugar, make sure it's low, maybe 5-10 grams at the most. But if you have high carbohydrates on that content list, don't get it. 25, 30, 35 grams of carbohydrates, out of the question. Don't do it. Just be understanding. If you want to do it, you take your chances. But you got to realize it's going to put you in a hospital. It could cause amputations, which my friend had before he passed away. And one of the reasons I think he did, because he couldn't get around, couldn't do anything, couldn't lose the weight because he was sitting in a wheelchair with an amputated leg. And he did get a prosthetic leg, but it was a long, hard process, and it caused him a lot of grief, and that was also a problem for him. These things I found out over the course of time, and if I think of more, I can tell you more. But this is enough to tell you, obesity is not for anybody, and it's not going to help you. It's going to cause you more trouble than it's worth. This is the experiences that I had, and I felt bad for the guys who died, and that's the way I think. Be cognizant of what you eat, and be careful. Exercise as much as you can possibly do, and watch your feet and watch your eyes, because diabetes attacks those areas, and you have to be careful. Sometimes these things are reversible, or they can be okay, be turned around by proper food and exercise. But if you disregard those things, you're in big trouble. And when you're in big trouble, the only thing people can do is come visit you and say, I'm sorry. But they have their own lives. They can't come visit you all the time. Not all the time. And sooner or later, they're going to have to stop visiting you because they have their own lives to live. And then you're in trouble. They put you in a home, a nursing home, or assisted living, and that's what it's going to be. And you've lost all contact. And for social purposes, what can I tell you? Unless you have, like my friend Phyllis's, as a wife, or equivalent husband type person, you got a problem, because nobody else is going to be able to be there for you. And I hope I've showed you some little things in retrospect. Be careful, be good, and be healthy. Do the best you can.
Irwin, have a good walk, and give to diabetes, give to the good cause. We're going to put the link for Irwin's walk on this site as well. Thank you.